It's titled The Most Pathetic Men in America by Mark Leibovich. And it's an excerpt from a book that he's got coming out soon. And he's talking about Kevin McCarthy and Lindsey Graham. And it's just an absolutely fascinating profile of these two men. And I think that they are avatars for, or you know, kind of the totem animals of a whole group of men in America. These beta men who aspire to alpha status through their association with an alpha man, in this case, Donald Trump. And I mean, he talks about the slavishly devoted Republicans who Trump brought to his side. Without the complicity of the Republican Party, Donald Trump would just be a glorified Fox-watching geriatric golfer. But he asked Lindsey Graham, he said, you went from being one of Trump's most merciless critics in 2016 to being such a sycophant. Why? And Graham said, and I'm quoting, well, okay, from my point of view, if you know anything about me, it's not odd to do this. This is to try to be relevant. I could get Trump on the phone faster than any staff person who worked for him could get him on the phone. McCarthy bragged to me. So here you got, Graham said, this is to try to stay relevant. So both Lindsey Graham, it turns out Rudy Giuliani too, and Kevin McCarthy, but the two legislators, Lindsey Graham in the Senate, Kevin McCarthy, who, if the Republicans get the control of the House of Representatives, will be the Speaker of the House next year. Both of them embrace this servile attitude toward Trump because by sucking up to him, by kowtowing to him, by submitting to him, he gives them power. He kind of pats them on the head. McCarthy, this is a quote. This is from the article. Let me just read this paragraph to you. It's breathtaking. He's talking about, he met with Kevin McCarthy in the spring of last year in Bakersfield at a restaurant, a dessert joint, Dewar's. And between licks of his chocolate ice cream cone, Kevin McCarthy also kept showing me pictures of himself with celebrities. I tossed the pesky legacy question his way. In other words, you know, aren't you concerned that your legacy, being a Trump, you know, being a suck-up for Trump is going to hurt your, you know, how you're remembered by history? Back to the article. McCarthy kept his head down and pulled up a photo of the Pope. Then one of President George H.W. Bush's casket, his mother, his teenage self, with majestically feathered hair. He said, here's another one of me with Trump on Air Force One. Then, what did you ask me again? So he repeats the question, what do you think your legacy is going to be given, you know, how you've been sucking up to Trump? And McCarthy eventually looked up and said, oh, the Jeff Flake thing? No one's putting up any statues to Flake at the Capitol. Jeff Flake, of course, was the senator from Arizona who stood up to Donald Trump. So Kevin McCarthy is basically saying, you know, I'm not going to get any political benefit out of challenging Donald Trump, even if he's trying to destroy our country, so I'll continue to suck up to him. He talks about in this article how Lindsey Graham, this is amazing. Trump was a familiar type to Graham. His parents ran a dive bar called the Sanitary Cafe in a rural part of South Carolina. Short and pudgy, Lindsey was a tag-alone figure who played the child mascot to the small-town characters who passed through the saloon. They nicknamed him Stinkball. He always gravitated to custodial, larger-than-life figures, or alpha dogs, as he calls them. Lindsey Graham refers to them as alpha dogs. For decades, John McCain served that role. He and Graham were best Senate friends, smoke jumping into global hotspots and tense Capitol Hill negotiations. They knew where all the Kit Kats and Coke Zeros were stashed in the Sunday show green rooms. And, you know, it goes on from there. I'm wondering if you're seeing this among your friends and acquaintances. These insecure men who are, and presumably women as well, but I think this is a particularly male thing, who want to be powerful, They want to have a sense of personal power and destiny and force in the world, but they don't have, it's not part of their personality. So they have to find Big Daddy. They have to find the great leader. I mean, this is what provoked the phenomena, in my opinion, of both Mussolini and Hitler, was these men who were looking for a great leader that they could suck up to. I think that this is the major phenomenon across America. And because of that, I lay this question at your feet. And I'll pick up your calls on the other side of the break. Do you think that the January 6th committee is cutting Trump down to size enough that the men across America who rely on Trump for their sense of masculinity and power will reject him? Do you think it's possible?
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-808-9925.
I think it's already happening, frankly. And I think that there's a lot of lost men out there right now who just are not sure where to go for their testosterone fix.